Hi everyone, long time no see. It's been a busy couple weeks for me. Um, Let me first start by saying welcome to the people who are not my Facebook family or friends. I didn't realize that there would be strangers and friends of friends watching my vlog, so let me give you some background information. My name is Sandra. I'm 65 years old. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. I have 4 children. My oldest son is going to be 45. I have daughters who are 33 and 31, and I have a son who is 23. I have 3 grandchildren and another one expected in October, baby girl. I made notes this time. Let's see. I am from Ohio. I grew up in Cleveland. I attended Lorain County Community College, Cleveland State University, where I got my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I have 2 master's degrees from Regent University in Virginia Beach, one in human services counseling and one in education individualized studies. Sounds impressive, right? What did I do with those? That's for another vlog. Couple things to clarify from my first vlog. When I said I was at the side of the pool, when I started going in the water, it sounded like I was at the side of the pool tanning, but yes, I did go in the water, side of the pool. That's what I meant at one point. When I was at the airport, I neglected to tell you that the first man in security told me to take off my sling. That's why I went to another metal detector and another one and finally made it through. Age in college, I was hemming and hawing about how old I was. If I was 39, if it was before Zachary. I believe Zachary probably was 2, so that would have made me 43 when I was in that women's studies group. Oh, I wouldn't really tell anybody to go to hell if they had an issue with my scars or my surgeries or anything like that. That sounds really tough, but I don't think I would say that to anyone. I would feel like it was too bad that I would have hoped to be given a chance, but if I wasn't, I guess there would be a reason for that. I am a firm believer that people reflect back to us what we give them. So if I were negative about my ostomy and thought it was gross and wanted to hide it, didn't want to talk about it, I think that that's the same response I would get to someone who knew about it, that they would think, oh, that's gross, oh, that must be hard to live with. If people don't know something about you, they reflect back your attitude about it. So I have a positive attitude. I mean, I've talked about it. I've visited patients and talked about mine, as I mentioned in my first vlog. I was in Good Housekeeping magazine. I was in the newspaper. I used to speak to doctors, nurses. I'm very open about it because I just think it's important that people know that you really can live a life with an ostomy. There's another live a life, huh? I mean, when I was sick and talking about my ostomy and showing you the pouch, like not on me, but I was going to show you at some point what I wear and how it gets put on and things like that. But I would just say that I was 16 years old when I had ulcerative colitis, and it's a brutal disease. Accidents, bleeding, diarrhea, weakness, pain, lots of pain. And my life went down to nothing. I spent days in bed, sleeping. There were times I can think of being at Cedar Point with a group of friends and running to a ride. You get excited, you want to go be first in line or whatever. And as I was running, I had an accident. So I had to go in the bathroom. My boyfriend had to go to the front of the park because I did come prepared because I had clothes and stuff in a locker. I had an accident Christmas shopping once in a mall, crowded Parmatown Mall. I don't even know if Parmatown Mall is still there. But yeah, I was Christmas shopping and it was crowded. And I can kind of even picture where I was, and had an accident and had to rush to the car. I left jobs because of that disease. I was a podiatrist assistant, which that's a story in itself, how I got that job. But one day I had a doctor's appointment and I went, and I ended up being admitted because I was so sick. And that was the end of that job. The summer before I had my surgery, I was working at a photography studio, which I loved. And I'd been doing well, but I was waiting on a customer, and I just felt, the sudden urge, and I knew what was going to happen, and I grabbed my purse and I drove home. I didn't tell anybody. No one knew I was sick. I didn't tell anyone that I had ulcerative colitis. I went home, and I was home all summer until I went to the emergency room at the clinic because I was so sick. So having ostomy surgery gave me a life. I did a lot of volunteer work. I traveled, I spoke, I had my family. So my experience is positive. Another thing, adoption. I mentioned in my first vlog about my birth father's family. I grew up with my adopted mom and dad. I mean, I only have one mom and dad, Betty and Jim. That's who raised me. That's who loved me. And I always felt special. My mom told me I was chosen. I always felt loved. I never felt like anything was missing. I mean, I was the odd man out. My mom was like 5'2". My dad was 5'8", and I towered over them probably when I was 12 because I was already 5'11". People used to say stuff to my mom about me being tall, and she just would smugly say, well, the milkman is tall. That tells you how old I am because back then we had a milkman. My grandma, my mom's mom, who I just loved more than the world, she was, I think, probably about 5'8". And so I always felt like I got my height from grandma. But yeah, I didn't grow up with a chip on my shoulder because I was adopted. I never went searching for people until I was an adult, and for the most part that was for medical reasons. I don't know. So when I talk about being adopted, my story and my attitude about it are very positive. I'm in some support groups on Facebook, and it just saddens me because there's just so many people who feel like they were rejected when they were given up for adoption, that they're not complete because of the things and people they don't know. And I'm just sad for them because I just think there's multiple ways of looking at things. It's kind of a glass is half full, half empty thing, and I'm always a glass is half full. Technically it is full because half is water, half is air, right? So I try to be really positive no matter what's going on with me, when I project it to other people. I'm not always positive. I cry a lot. My Cincinnati experience left me in tears, and when I was leaving Ohio, I was driving and crying, but I ended up on the Appalachian, however you say it, highway, and driving calms me, and the hills and the green, it was just so beautiful, and I felt really peaceful. And I just think, like, next time I'm feeling blue or whatever, I just really need car keys and some gas, and I need to just go find a beautiful stretch of highway like that, because it was hard to find decent music. There's a lot of country. No offense to those who like country music. But I finally found a station. I cranked it up. I had my hair back. I opened the windows. It was a really hot day, but I was speeding. And it just helped me to feel better. It helped me to clear my mind. And I just find stuff like that to be very therapeutic. Still feeling sad about Cincinnati, wishing that I could fix what I did. I don't know that I can, thus the sadness. But I'll figure it out. Hopefully I will be given a chance to at least say my piece, make my apologies, and feel better about that. Today I went, well, let me back up. A week ago, Friday, I woke up and I had this awful pain. I went to the bathroom, and not being gross, I guess I should preface my vlogs and say adults only or whatever. My urine was brown. It was very bad. I've had pain in my life. One of the worst pains was when I had open heart surgery and my chest had been cracked. Coughing, laughing, moving was all really, really painful. And I thought that was probably it, because I've had, I've had kids, I've had migraines, but that's kind of one of the top pains. This pain, it was really bad. And I called my cardiologist, I called my primary care doctor, and the nurses said, get to the emergency room. One of the things they thought it could be was kidney stones. I've had kidney stones before. Mine are made of calcium. It has to do with my ostomy and absorption. And I didn't think it was a kidney stone. I get them and they're like grains of sand. They're very small. They pass easily. I have maybe a little bit of cramping for a couple hours. And this was not that. So then I was worried about like kidney failure because of the meds I take. Every 6 months I do labs just to make sure everything's functioning well. So, that kind of panicked me a little bit. And I had a CAT scan and they saw one not very large kidney stone. And I was really surprised. I was surprised by the pain. I just like, wow, I've had this before and it didn't feel like this. So that just goes to tell you that you might have experience with something your whole life, and it could happen one time and it feels totally different, good or bad. I passed the sand-like stones the following Monday. I had no pain by then. I didn't even have pain really on Saturday. But on Monday, those passed, and like two a little bit larger ones, and I was done. So I don't know if there was a log jam or what happened to cause all the pain and the bleeding. But that was really quite an experience. One of my kids last week had a colonoscopy, which those of you who are of a certain age, you know what I'm talking about. I had lots of those when I was sick with ulcerative colitis. 3 of my kids have had them. 2 of my kids do have ulcerative colitis, and the colonoscopy was to see if a 3rd child had it. Thank goodness that was clear. There is no ulcerative colitis. And I know it's not my fault what genes are passed on to my kids, but I always have and always will feel bad that, something like that was given to my kids from me. They're doing well, and I guess that's the most important thing. Today, we're going to do a big reveal here, and I had a loop monitor implanted. I have atrial fibrillation and atrial flutter. The circuits in my heart are kind of a mess because of my open heart surgery. I have multiple circuits. I've had an ablation, but it wasn't successful because the doctor couldn't cut all of those circuits. So I've been having symptoms. I've worn a Holter monitor. I've worn a monitor that looks like a key fob. And we just we're not getting the answer we need. At one point, I was told I needed another ablation and then possibly open heart surgery down the road. The last time I went, it was like, oh, you're good. You don't need anything. So it's like, well, how do we go from, needing this, this, and this to you're good. You don't need any of it. So it was suggested that I have this loop monitor implanted under my skin. I was told today that it just is constantly recording data from my heart, and if there's a concerning event, that eventually that will get sent to my cardiologist, and we'll have to talk about what to do. So I don't want this forever. I'm just hoping like I have my symptoms and I can get this out. I don't know what it looks like. I'm told it's really small. Oh my God, it's really stuck to me. Oh, here we go. Ouch. I was nervous about the procedure. I get nervous about any procedure. I was told once I probably have PTSD because of all the things I've been through between open heart surgery, my ostomy, years of infertility. Like, you know, I've put my poor body through the ringer. So even if it's something as little as this, I just get really kind of anxious about it. But Zachary went with me, and I was chill. If you saw my Facebook post, I was chill. I was okay. A couple moments of concern, but, you know, everybody was talking to me. They were nice. There was no sedation. Just lots of lidocaine, an antibiotic I had to take beforehand. Oh my gosh, guys. Holy cow, I think this is going to take off a layer of my skin. Whoa. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's off. My skin might be a little orange. Let's see what we see. Okay, it's bruised. I think it's right there. Oh, it's right there. Okay. A little bit of chest, but you'd see the same if I was in a bathing suit. All right, not a big deal. I was worried about that because I thought if it sticks out and I'm holding the new baby and the new baby puts her head right there, is she going to have like a dent in her head because of grandma's implant? But yeah, it doesn't really feel or look like that. So, okay, those bruises will heal. Okay, not so bad. Hopefully it does its job and I don't have to keep it in for too long. I didn't want this to be a long vlog, not like last time. I have so many things I want to tell you, so many things in my heart, so many things that I think would be good because I need a laugh, and I probably could share with you and you'd have a laugh as well. But I'm going to probably end now. I'm going to tell you to live a life, live a healthy life, live a loving life. I'm trying to do those things. I'm trying to live a happy life. Sometimes it doesn't work out for us. You know, I told you in my first vlog about, you know, jumping in the deep end, and I was afraid, and yay, that worked. And, you know, didn't want to fly. I flew. Yay, that worked. Well, you know what? Sometimes I try things and they don't work. And that's okay. You learn from them. You try something else. It all turns out okay in retrospect. So hopefully, you know, what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, it will work out somehow, and I will move on to other things. I can't say bigger and better because I don't feel that way yet, but maybe it's coming. Thank you to all of you new friends. I was really surprised to see so many people, you know, watching, or I received comments from people like, I don't know you, but somehow they found me on Instagram, and that's fine because I would like to think that every time I post a vlog that there's something valuable in it for somebody, even if it's one person, even if it's somebody that needs a loop monitor and they wonder what it's going to be like. Okay, go get it because I did it. You're okay. Somebody that's afraid to do something, somebody that's feeling really crappy about something. It's okay. You know, I don't believe in wallowing, but I also don't believe in like ignoring how you feel. Like if you're sad, be sad. If you need to cry, cry. I mean, look at this. I have these, you know, from not sleeping well. I have these because, oh, it's ridiculous. I'm going to go off topic here. I lost weight, right? I lost all this weight. I'm really happy. I'm wearing a different size of clothing. My confidence is different. But geez Louise, fat, you know, used to make these a little less noticeable. If you saw me close up, I have like little tiny lines, in my face that I never had before. But fat used to puff out my cheeks, and I didn't have lines. I had smooth skin. So now I don't have the fat, but I have these little lines starting. One of the other things, bane of my existence, because I don't think I can do too much about it. I asked my physical therapist. I see a physical therapist because of my shoulder. But, yay, I lost weight. But okay, you lost fat, but you still have all this skin. Like, holy cow, look at that, And I asked what we could do, and he said, well, you have to have surgery, or you could build muscle and like kind of distract from the skin. So I don't know, at some point, I need to join a gym or go to the Y or do something, and try to build up muscle or do what I can to detract from that. I have it on my arms, I have it on my abdomen, I have it on my legs, and I wouldn't trade the loose skin back for being chubby. Not at all. I mean, I guess in some ways, as with my scars and my ostomy, I'm proud to have this saggy skin because it means I lost weight and I achieved a goal. Well, I'm still achieving the goal, but it's just a really kind of crummy side effect, because you're feeling so good about yourself. Like, I'm excited for cool weather. I'm excited for sweatshirts and jeans and stuff like that, so I can better hide my excess skin. But you know what? It's a symbol of something that I achieved that I never thought I would achieve. So I guess as with the scar, my ostomy, everything else, my implant, it's part of me. And it's led to something positive, and I guess that's what's important. So embrace your saggy skin and your scars, and just think of all you had to get through to have those things, whether you chose it or not. You're here still to talk about things. And, remember that people reflect your attitude. So if you're down, if you're feeling negative about stuff, it's going to come back to you, whether people choose not to be around or they're down and, their attitude isn't helping you. We get back what we give sometimes. And I think that's a really important thing to remember, that your attitude about things happening in your life, your body, anything, if people haven't experienced it, they're experiencing it through you. And so whatever you say is going to influence how they feel. And when I mentioned the ostomy support groups, it concerns me because a lot of people, it is a support group. It's why people, it's people coming to get advice, to share their feelings and their fears. And I comment as often as I can. I have 3 comments that I use like all the time. They're on my clipboard. And, at least once a day, more than once a day, I'm cutting and pasting, my advice or my experience. So, people have an idea about positive things they can do. But, there's a lot of fear. The internet is a great thing, but it really also is troublesome because people will read those negative experiences and they'll actually be thinking about not having ostomy surgery, which could save their life, which can remove a cancer or prevent cancer. And they're just reading bad experiences, and it's like, oh my gosh, these, like, I have nothing to post. I have nothing to complain about. I have no problems that I need people to help me solve. So I sit in the background, and I just wait. I wait for people to have questions or need advice or support, and then I jump in and I share with them. But the majority of people on a support group need support. And if you're going there looking for information, I think it could be daunting. I think that some of the things I read that are happening to people, one, I can't believe they're happening today. My surgery was in 1977, and you would think that things have come a long way since then. And sometimes it just doesn't seem like that's the case. So I don't know, I feel bad for the people who post their problems, but I feel really bad for new ostomates or people contemplating surgery who read that stuff, and it just puts so much fear inside of them. So yeah, I try really hard to be positive because I feel positive. You know, stuff happens. There are sad days. There are days of struggle, but you know, I'm 65 years old and I know I could get through it. Like, are the things happening the worst that has ever happened to me? Oh my gosh, no. And I mean, I've already made it through days where I wondered, oh my gosh, how am I going to make it through today or this week or whatever? You know, how am I going to live with this heartbreak or, you know, things like that. And here I am telling you that I did and I will again. And so can you. So feel the feelings. You know, don't let anybody tell you get over it or ignore it or, you know, you shouldn't feel that way. Like, how can anyone tell us how we should feel? You know, you're not in my shoes. You don't know. So embrace how you feel. Don't stay there too long. Find something that helps you to feel better. I'm not saying stop the bad feelings, but sometimes you have to really focus on finding things that help you feel good. If there's a problem to be solved, figure out how to solve it. Don't ignore it. It's, you know, it might eat at you. So figure it out. Talk to somebody. Send me a message. We'll figure it out together. I'm good at solving other people's problems, just not always my own. And that's okay. You know, I have my friends. I pray. I have God. And I've been to therapy in my life for different reasons. And, you know, I'm going to attempt doing that again, just to get to know myself a little better and to put some perspective on some things and to make sure that I'm really healthy physically and mentally moving forward in this adventure and in any relationships I have. I want to be the best me that I can be, flaws and all. So thank you for listening. Welcome to the strangers who are no longer strangers. You're all my friends. And you take care and live a good life. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon.